self-pity, and selfishness. To err is to be human. Our instincts, unchecked, always take over, and they work against us. These character defects have been the bedrock of our addictive behavior. At this point, we've been shown that this new way of life can and will release us of the obsession to use, drink, or act out. Now is the time to become entirely ready to be relieved of these defects that eventually drive us to misery. Much like the bunker thought it was through the worst of it, still more deconstruction is ahead in order to be made whole once again. Society!
As I'm starting the third year, I think I had some reservations. The guys were a little older than normal. Maybe their talents and their areas of strength weren't exactly matching up to what we were excited about doing this year. And I think my real excitement was about penetrating the cement or actually starting to mix the inside with the outside. And then we did reduce it by one hole. Mike had originally put 4 in here. But what this did was it gave us a dining area out here that was actually a landing where we put a high top table. And it gives us another eating area which has direct view of the mountain. So
it's a good opportunity. I came out here for 3 reasons, and number 1, to get clean and sober. I've struggled with addiction. I went to treatment in April, and I got out, and I went to sober living, and I relapsed. It didn't work out. I was in Atlanta, and I heard about this opportunity in Montana. It's kind of a sober retreat. Work a little bit. Work a lot, actually, and we go to meetings every night.
The toughest job is running the ditch witch, so I picked the guy that I would figure that would have the biggest problem with it. Because I want him to get stirred up a little bit. And he came from, kind of an upper end crowd in Atlanta. I knew about him. He was having a difficult time stopping the drinking. And a very likable guy, smart as a whip, but hadn't been able to stop. That's John.
Montana is incredibly beautiful. You just can't take pictures of it. It's, you see this much on the camera, but it's really way bigger than that. And even with a wide angle lens, that doesn't come close. You drive for hours and hours and hours, and it's just right over there. What's that mean? Another couple hours. I had a friend take me to South Dakota the other day, and that was a 3-day drive. Wow. Gonna have to pay that back.
Warren. Thank you, Warren. And sorry, I'm going to talk about you for a second, buddy. So Warren, it's interesting because this is, he wrecked his truck and lost his life not that long ago, and heartbreaking. And we miss him, but he had diabetes, and I think he'd fall asleep sometimes when he was on one of the ups and downs, and so it was no different than what happened that summer. He tried to drive straight, fell asleep, and ran into the back of a lady and her kids in a car. Luckily, nobody was severely hurt, but he totaled out his truck, or ruined his truck, and they left it in the middle of South Dakota.
Today I have I don't even worry about when I see the police in the rearview mirror. It was great. I had a wreck, and 6 or 8 cops showed up, and they just wanted to know, was I hurt? They didn't want to know, can we take you to jail? They just wanted to know, are you hurt? How you doing? What's up? Wow, that's not the way my life used to be. But today, today I'm not telling you I got it going on, but my life is okay today. I have friends that call just to say, how you doing? We haven't heard from you in a couple of days. You doing okay? My kid calls me every weekend to say, hey, we ain't heard from you in a couple of days. You doing okay? She's the nicest person I've ever met. And I have to ask, how is this possible?
Guys are working hard. It's Sunday. I told them they couldn't go to church today because we had to lay cement. So we're ready. Once we get this wall done, it will look very different. Tires are gone. And now it starts like a real true hobbit house. And we are building this wall up here to get rid of the tires, to use that as a retention wall to keep the dirt back and all that kind of stuff. The last section was that upper section, so we had to collect rocks out of the field and cement them in place, the ones that are on a steep angle, and then try to finish that wall, a giant rock garden, so to speak. And what that does, it allows me to see who's who. I need to find out who's got carpentry skills, who doesn't. Let Reed wrap his head around what jobs need to be done, and then with the boys we can see what kind of inventory we have as far as skill sets. Plus, if you're out lifting and throwing rocks all day and in the heat and it's windy, we break them down a little bit and we tend to see who's who.
Some of these weeds look like flowers. Some I've lived with so long, I can't imagine who I'd be without them. Readiness doesn't mean I'm perfect. It means I'm honest and willing. I wrote it all down, everything I found in step 5. Some of it shocked me. Some I already knew too well. Pride, control, fear. I used to call them survival or strength, but now I'm starting to see the roots. Some are easy to spot. They don't belong here. They never did. But others, they look like they belong. Like maybe they make me me. Still, every time it's bloomed, it's hurt someone or pushed them away. I don't need to hate it to let it go. I just need to be ready. This isn't about perfection. It's about willingness. And for the first time, I'm ready. Which defects are the hardest for me to let go of? Which ones do I secretly think are strengths? Am I really ready or just tired?
This is our new bathroom facility. New for 2021. Here's number 1 for a 1 or a 2. Oh, so funny. There's number 2. Number 3. Our cleaning supplies. What's back here? Let's just see. Whoa. Oh, look at there. Cleaning supplies, toilet paper, paper towels. Sink, yet to be connected. Mirror, I might need to want to readjust that. And a couple of showers, which were not working when we got here. The only thing working was the one toilet. How's that pick holding up?
Coming off?
No, I got it. Put a little screw here and tighten these ones up. It's not perfect, but it'll work for a day or two.
Yeah, we've got a wide range of ages, good diversity, different backgrounds, different industries. We all work in different areas, but there's one thing we have in common, and that is we're recovering alcoholics and addicts. And, there's something about being around people that are in recovery that is, there's a special bond there, no matter what. At the end of the day, you know, it's all about staying sober and recovery and lifting each other up, because, you know, we have a brotherhood here, and this is a fellowship.
We're gonna need to make more room right there.
Yeah.
So, probably had my first drink of alcohol when I was 14. And it's pretty funny, my parents actually bought it for me. They thought I was safer drinking at home, and I don't think they knew where that would lead, and I didn't know where that would lead. Got into high school, partied a lot, lots of drugs, played sports, and then drugs kind of just took over, and lost my motivation for a lot of things.
Harrison, who I thought was like a shot-out junkie who would escape to a fishing boat for 6 months out of the year just to get away from his demons, which is exactly what he was, you know. And he turned out to be this little like treasure of a guy later on, you know. He works in the recovery community, but yeah, he's flourishing now. But he was in a rough spot when he came in. He's got a gentle heart, always willing to step into something and try, but a good man.
Oh, really, Dean? He's a great guy? He actually is a great guy. I know that because we just got back from Asheville, North Carolina, where we caught up with Harrison after surviving the bunker nearly 4 years later. And guess what? He is doing pretty good. Let's check it out.
My name is Harrison, and I'm from Columbus, Georgia. Moved to Asheville about 4.5 years ago for sober living, and never left. And now I'm an admissions coordinator for Otter House Wellness, a treatment center here in Asheville. First, I met Reed in his van somewhere in Florida, and then I rode in the back of a van from Florida all the way to the bunker in Montana. It was 20 plus hours, I believe, and I was probably a day into withdrawals from fentanyl and cocaine, so it was not very fun. I had like a cushion that I laid on in the back. There was no seating, and so I endured that. And then once we got to the bunker, I was like, where am I? Like, how did I end up here?
Now, it sounds like the timeline's right. You didn't stay clean after the bunker.
I did.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went straight to sober living here in Asheville. Yeah, so this is the front door to the facility. I actually got a little fake ice sculpture the client made for us after they graduated. So I thought that was pretty cool, so we put it up front. This is like where the front desk is. Any visitors that come in, they'd sign that sheet. These hallways, one of our techs painted all of this before we opened up.
Okay, so we're going to come through the wall here with electrical conduit and put the panels up here. And on the other side of this wall is where we hope to come out, right down there. And we were fixing to dig a trench right here. Well, we started a trench right there actually. And that trench was too deep. And we hit a water line. All work has stopped. So you guys gonna finish drilling this hole down here?
What hole? There's a hole?
Hole looks good to me.
Yeah, it ain't all the way through though.
It's meeting time in Montana. All work stops because recovery comes first. The boys head from the bunker to the meeting. For obvious reasons, we don't film that shit.
It's like if you have a sneeze, that's a symptom of the cold, and the cold is actually, you got some germs in you. It's the same thing in your life. You can go back, take apart a 4-step, look at the resentment you have, which is the symptom of the problem, and then we work back from there. So what's the real truth of it? The truth of it in the process of the 4-step, and what is your part in it, and what are your motives underneath it? What are the deepest motives? All issues in general stem from a basic instinct gone awry, and we can't see that. Our ego is telling us it's not me, or it's not my fault, or we're in denial about it. And once we start to break that down to get to the part of the step that identifies exactly what part of me has the particular sensitivity about it down deep, then I can look at, I don't want to be touched there. I don't want to get hurt there. And that drives my motives.
Yeah, some of the defects that I became aware of at the bunker was arrogance, selfishness, defensiveness, laziness, impulsive. There's a long list, but those are the 4 or 5 that come to mind off the top of my head.
The first time you were given that character list, whether it happened on the bunker or when you were here, was it hard to see yourself in that way?
Yes and no, I guess. I knew that obviously something wasn't right and something needed to change. But yeah, yes and no, I guess.
Montana Society!